So it all started when I was talking to the guy at Amazon. He mentioned how the Link's Awakening amiibo would only be printed one, and that's all that Nintendo is doing nowadays. So I decided, hey, I need to get this Link's Awakening amiibo. I just remembered this week, I was looking on Amazon to see if I could pre-order it, and lo and behold, they were already pretty much all pre-ordered, so I had to pre-order it on Walmart. But since I was looking at so many amiibo on Amazon, I saw something interesting. The crazy expensive Link amiibos were all at regular price. I thought it was a fluke. I thought that Amazon was selling cheapskate, faulty knockoffs of amiibo. I was like, how dare they? They're just throwing some NFC chips and some Power Ranger ripped apart action figures. Lo and behold, no, we got this article right here, written 4 months ago, saying that all of the Zelda amiibo, from Smash to all the Links from Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and the Ocarina of Time ones, all the 30th anniversary amiibos, and the crazy expensive Breath of the Wild amiibos, would all be reprinted by November in the Japanese market. Well, the time is now. It's been reprinted. So I had to do a crazy deficit to my wallet. Especially the Guardian amiibo. That was over $100 and is the most posable dope amiibo there is. Not like I'm taking it out of the box because I'm a true collector now, apparently. Yo, the time is now invest. I am able to give y'all some financial advice. Now, whether or not this is an actual good investment is hard to tell because we don't know if Nintendo's going to reprint it again, but that's the way that Nintendo does this. They print these products in waves, and due to the nature of printing a product in waves, there is always going to be a second market. Now, whether that second market is profitable or not, we don't know. I just literally want these because I'm a big old Nintendo fanboy and an even bigger Zelda fanboy. So I needed to have these. I'm hanging on to these forever. I'm assuming things like the Breath of the Wild amiibos would probably be reprinted by the time Breath of the Wild 2 rolls around. And it's cool that Nintendo is recognizing that they need to stump out the second market because these are just going to be unavailable. Just look at this. This is a list of the most rare amiibo on the market right now. All right, so it's fairly normal. And then we get to here, right? Going up in rarity. We have the Guardian amiibo. And from this point on, they're just reprints. I mean, this, yeah, they got reprinted. Toon Link and Toon Zelda got reprinted individually. The big expensive one is the dual pack like this. And then look, literally all the amiibo that got reprinted. All of these. All the way up to here. So hopefully Nintendo's actually aware of the second market and is trying to stop it. Now, I'm not taking it out in box, but let's say you actually want it. Just look at this. 5 left. Almost gone. Almost gone. Last one. Last one. Almost gone. Last one. Almost gone. So like, who knows? Who knows if this is going to be reprinted? But a wave of these Zelda amiibos have hit Japan and they can be bought right now. Hopefully they do get reprinted. I just made a terrible investment by buying a lot of them now. If you invest in these and you don't want to take them out of the box because you're going to be true collectors, you can just get these amiibo cards. Like this is the Zelda 30th anniversary one. They have it for all of them. They also have it for Breath of the Wild. Funny how all the amiibo cards are just for the super expensive amiibo. I wonder why. You could also get the amiibo coin, which is now like the same price as an actual Daruk amiibo since that got reprinted. But again, the big collector value of those amiibos with the bundle, all 4 champions. Or you can get something like this. This little puck over here can actually load multiple NFC codes. I don't know if that's totally legal. It's kind of the gray line of like emulation. But if you have the amiibo and you just don't want to ruin the packaging, it's the kind of the same thing with like, you know, owning the cartridge, but you don't want to risk putting it in your console and hurting the actual hardware, so you just emulate it. It's kind of like a weird area, but there you go. There's also that option. So the time is now. This is now an investment channel, investment financial channel. Spend your Canadian Tire money. Get it going. Or here I got you with this, with that good old plastic money. They say if you scratch right there, right on that maple leaf, it'll smell like maple. Probably just got so much bacteria by even putting that close to my face. Now, why the hell are these amiibos always so expensive and so limited on print? Well, you have Animal Crossing Amiibo Fest to thank for that, because they printed so many of these Animal Crossing Amiibos, expecting that game to blow up, and guess what? It never did, so you got another thing to hate that game for. Since we're talking deals, apparently eBay has a pre-order thing for the Switch Lite, where, for me, I would save $50 Canadian ordering this, so just know that there's a cheaper option. I think that Australian eBay has over $100 off. I don't know why their Switch Lite is like 310 Australian normal price. How weak is the Australian dollar? But yeah, you can get it cheaper on eBay, just like all those Amiibo. I want this one so bad, but there ain't no way I'm buying it after I bought those Amiibo and I have to buy a PS4. No. Discipline. Yo, but as an investment though. There's also a lot of reports going on right now about Breath of the Wild 2 and how the trailer actually signifies Zant being the main villain. I might do an actual full video on that. I don't know yet. I feel like people already done that. But I do remember freaking out in the original Breath of the Wild because the Mirror of Twilight was in that game for just a silly side mission. But there were a lot of references to other Zelda games in Breath of the Wild. It's all just speculation. I've covered months ago that they got new developers from Monolith to work on the terrain. So we're expecting at least some new terrain. It might still be in Hyrule, it might not. Maybe the development for a terrain in a parallel universe. It is a Zelda game, that happens all the time. But again, still speculation. And this game could be very dark, as we all already know. Oh, it's so dark and spooky. Finally, onto the GameStop news. I described a week ago how GameStop was on their last stand and they're trying to reevaluate themselves in the market space and what they could provide. Doing things like providing services for esports or even just being a lounge in general. They already reported to close 200 stores, so it's looking like a yikes. But some of the new store formats have been rolled out already. So at one of these new locations that were rolled out, the person recording the video talks about buying snacks, playing games, and generally just hanging out. It's a much different vibe than anything GameStop has had before. With things going downhill so fast, this could be the last major push for the company to get gamers back into the store. Yeah, but like, how are you going to convert that to sales? Are you gonna have a service? Yeah, you get them in, they buy Funko Pops or shirts or whatever. Are you trying to convert things off of digital sales, like them buying V-Bucks or expansion passes in store? Thought of a gaming lounge being in pretty much every mall or in a lot of plazas is a welcoming idea. It's like rebranding into like, I don't know, Chuck E. Cheese for like adults or something like that. Can they really make the profit off of snacks? Luckily that there's a new console generation coming up and there's also the Switch Lite, so hopefully they can still make money off of buying hardware. I don't know, maybe they'll sell the Google Stadia in there. I don't want GameStop to go anywhere. I said it in my last video because I've never had a reliable source to immediately get games day one from places like Best Buy or Walmart. They always flake out, especially on Nintendo games for some reason. They're just always never available right away. GameStop always has it. Well, in Canada, they're called EB Games, but whatever. Now that we brought up the other consoles, let's talk about the only console that matters, the PlayStation. So Sony acquired Insomniac Games a while ago, but Insomniac made an Xbox exclusive a while ago called Sunset Overdrive. I don't know if anyone really remembers that. It was kind of a stylistic game launch title. Well, Insomniac retained the rights to that, so Sony owns that IP now. They're just taking everything. What exclusives does Xbox have? And on that note of Sony needing to be the best in the console markets by just aggressively buying out every other publisher, being the Epic Game Store of the console wars, Modern Warfare will be cross-platform. But apparently, PS4 players will get a special thing for Modern Warfare Day 1 that no other players will get, even though it's cross-platform. A special advantage, making PS4 the definitive place to play Modern Warfare. It'll give you an aimbot. They'll put on that crazy, super freaking nutty player that you can't even read their gamer tag on your team. That'll be on your team every time. That's the Sony PS4 Gibby Spider-Man guarantee. Well, in other news, whether you're a PS4 Pro or Xbox One X owner, you guys both have one thing in common. Borderlands 3 is near unplayable on your system. Now, I just recently made a Borderlands 3 video, so please go check that out in the card over here. The best part is they both have their own unique problems. This is the PS4 Pro, and this is the Xbox One X. Looking very, very, very washed out for some reason. As I mentioned in my video, it was stated multiple times on the forums that A, split screen just doesn't work, and the pause menu always chugs like crazy on console. So regarding the PS4 Pro, battles take place between 20 and 30 FPS, with much of the time spent around 25 FPS. For a modern day shooter game, 25 FPS for the battles. Yikes. So in conclusion, if you want to play on 60 frames per second, Borderlands 3 PC Master Race. I just find this ironic that I just covered this and I got an ad for a Breath of the Wild Link amiibo being over $100, and I just showed it being $18 on eBay. So get it while it's hot, babes. So it seems the Xbox One X has better frame rate because it can lock the frame rate to 30 frames. If that's what you're into, if you want to play your FPSs in 30 frames per second. It's looking like this one's gonna need a wait if they're gonna patch it. If not, that's such a shame if they have a console shooter locked at 30 frames on these 4K systems. Please, Gearbox, between this and the Epic Game Stores, come on, guys. And that's it for today's Dough Dump. Tell me if you guys are gonna buy those amiibos, if they're out by the time this video even comes out. What are your most desired amiibos? Do you even care? F's for GameStop, F's for Borderlands 3 on console, and there's also an English translation for all the Death Stranding footage, but I'm gonna cover that in another video because I want to talk about that in a different way. And I'll see you guys later. Squaw!